tough alpha male character, and yet he's not really that way.
Yeah, and he probably said it to get ratings. You know, you're on a talk show like this, and you say certain things, and you say them for shock value, and then a couple hours later you apologize, and that even creates more tweets and Facebook hits and all this kind of thing. So it helps your ratings.
If you want the statement, here it is. My deep apologies to both Daniel and Tori Murphy for creating an intrusion into a very sacred and personal moment in their lives, and that's the birth of their son, Noah. Daniel is the Mets second baseman, whose brief paternity leave led to a flip out, pretty much, to say, of Boomer Esiason. So, again, if you've got a point that you'd like to make on that, we'd love to hear from you. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Final Four, 2 SEC teams. Big storyline right here. We would love to see a team from the state of Alabama reach this pinnacle at some point in time, but Kentucky fans have gotten used to being here, especially during the Calipari years. A couple of years down, but did pick up a national championship led by multiple freshmen 3 years ago, and right back at it again this year, and looks like they have a tremendous opportunity, and that's been the story of this tournament so far, Andy.
Oh, yeah. And, Kentucky being an 8 seed out of the Midwest, nobody really thought, that this was going to be the year they thought they could, and even I thought, might be Sweet 16, but certainly they have ran it into shape. It looked like they started playing well there about the SEC tournament. Played Florida extremely well, but lost again for the third time. And now, have breezed their way through the tournament and have really started playing extremely well. That's going to be a very interesting matchup between them and Wisconsin. You have, so many freshmen and sophomores on this Kentucky team. You see the length that they have. Their guards are 6'6". They have 6'8", forwards, have a couple of 7-footers. But you have Wisconsin, who has a couple of juniors, a couple of seniors, a little more veteran team, and you got Frank Kaminsky, who is maybe the nightmare matchup for anybody. A 7-footer who can go outside and shoot threes, can take it down low, is comfortable handling the ball. So will Kentucky's length and athleticism overtake Wisconsin and their shooting ability and their team concept Bo Ryan runs? It'll be interesting to see.
Another topic we'll talk about today, and Will hit on it greatly yesterday. FSU investigates Jameis Winston again, charges two teammates in the rape case, and it's an ugly situation. It was before the national championship game. It was throughout the season last year, and it's risen back up. And there's a lot of story here to still talk about, and we'll hit on it. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Just getting started here on the Friday edition of Sports Call. We'll have DeMarco McNeil on with us, the former Auburn great, all-decade team from the 2000s will be on the program with us at 4:30, so stay tuned in. More from the Friday edition of Sports Call after this break.
Father, I have a confession.
What is it, my child?
I ate a roast beef sandwich. I just couldn't seem to find any good fish.
Have you tried the shrimp basket?
The shrimp basket?
For 40 days starting March 5th through Good Friday, April 18th, the Shrimp Basket will be serving a variety of all-you-can-eat fish every day, as well as fresh catch options, too. Visit shrimpbasket.com to locate one of our many Shrimp Basket locations.
Thank you, Shrimp Basket.
Head to the Shrimp Basket, 1651 South College in Auburn.
When my husband turned 30, I didn't think much of it. I know men start to lose testosterone levels after 30. I just wasn't sure what that meant. Now I do. He gained weight, became moody, depressed, made excuses all the time to not have to do anything physical. It even got to the point where he never wanted to be romantic. A friend of mine told me about Mancore from Complete Nutrition, so I picked up some for my husband. He started using Mancore a little over a month ago. He's becoming himself again. He's lost 10 pounds, got his spark back, and is in much better moods. He's back to being the guy I fell in love with. If the man in your life isn't what he used to be, it could be low testosterone levels. It happens to all men. Mancore is specifically formulated for men over 30. It helped my husband. It can help yours too. Mancore from Complete Nutrition.
Find Complete Nutrition in Opelika across from Buffalo Wild Wings in the Tigertown Shopping Center. Or call 334-745-4404 for free shipping.
Complete Nutrition.
Don't give up just yet. All Around Computers can help. 887-7773. They come to you for all your technology and computer service needs. If you don't want to install it, configure it, or even deal with it, All Around Computers can do it all. 887-7773. Do you have pop-ups, viruses, or is your computer running slow? All Around Computers can help you with it all. Don't call All Around. Call All Around Computers today. They come to your home or business for all your technology service needs. 887-7773.
Spring football and A-Day are almost here, so head to the Big Blue Bookstore for all your tailgating supplies and game day attire. The Big Blue Bookstore is locally owned and always offers the best selection of orange and blue gear for adults and kids. At the Big Blue Bookstore, we are proud to be a part of the Auburn family, and we are all in. So stop by and get ready to cheer on the Tigers on A-Day, April 19th. Whether you're looking for the perfect game day ensemble, a gift, or a textbook, head to the Big Blue Bookstore in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center on South College.
Does your nonprofit group have an event on the horizon? Do you need help sharing your organization's mission statement? The Tiger Communications family of radio stations, 99.9 K, Tiger 93.9, FM Talk 95.9, and AM 1230 WAUD, are committed to serving the East Alabama area by providing information about local nonprofit organizations and their events through public service announcements and live broadcasts. Contact Michael Lane at 887-9999 or community@thetiger.fm for more information about promoting your nonprofit organization. That's community@thetiger.fm.
Welcome back into the Friday edition of Sports Call. Randy Lee alongside Andy Graham, taking your phone calls at 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Your Auburn Athletics update segment brought to you by Sarah Honda of Silicaga on Highway 280, where we simply offer the state's best price on all new Hondas and an exclusive lifetime warranty, and plenty to talk about as we move over to Auburn. And we'll start with baseball this weekend, and tonight Auburn will be at Ole Miss. Auburn going to a conference venue that it looks like both of these teams are much on the same direction at this point in time in the season. Ole Miss, as you look at the right-handed pitcher, Chris Ellis will get the start tonight. He's 4-0, 1.91 ERA, and Dylan Ortman will be on the mound as he has been the majority of the season on Friday night, 5-2, 2.05. Great pitching matchups all the way throughout the weekend.
Definitely. This is kind of a big series for both teams. Kind of a little disappointing start, certainly for Ole Miss. They're ranked 23rd in the country right now by Baseball America, but, we're only 4-5 in the league. Auburn able to have a 5-4 record in the league at least. So a pretty big series for both teams coming in. Auburn definitely trying to turn things around after losing 2 or 3 from Missouri, and then really just getting their head handed to them by Samford in the midweek game 8-1. So Auburn's still struggling with errors, and their fielding percentage had 4 more errors Tuesday night. It just these are the kind of things. Part of it is playing a lot of freshmen, but part of it is just this has been going on for a while now. So you don't know if this is going to change this season, but it certainly, when you give your opponent more outs to beat you, they're going to beat you.
Of the 11 players getting the majority of time in the field for the Tigers, 4 seniors, 1 sophomore, and 6 freshmen, as you just mentioned. And that points directly to the errors that you're seeing. And right there at the top, you've got some great senior leaders swinging the bat, and the freshmen not doing too bad a job swinging the bat. So Auburn has has really turned the corner a little bit there. But, again, you go back to eras in the field. Pitching has been extremely good for the Tigers this year. Running the bases, leading the conference in stolen bases, you mentioned earlier, leading in putouts also. But, the Tigers are trying to manufacture runs. But I think that era problem, will rear its ugly head at the worst times when you're playing youth.
Yeah, definitely. And, leading the conference in sacrifice bunts. We are playing small ball. We lead, like you said, we run more than anybody. We've stolen more bases than anybody. We've had more sacrifice bunts than anybody. It's just a matter of getting those in the right, getting that clutch hit. It seems to be Auburn's, third in the league with a 299 team batting average. They're third in the league in hits. They've got 290 hits, but they just can't seem to get that RBI when they definitely need it. They're 11th in the SEC in RBI, so there's some kind of disconnect there. They can get on base, second in the league in on base percentage. So they're getting on base, they're getting hits, but they're just not getting those guys in. And in the days when we keep hitting on this, and we keep harping on this, but this is the reality of 2014. When you play with the BB Core bats, every run is so precious, and you cannot afford to leave those guys stranded.
Listen to the ERAs of the 6 pitchers that will get starting nods for Auburn and Ole Miss, and think back to 5 years. Any of these ERAs would have been tops on the staff, I would think. But Dylan Ortman, 2.05. Chris Ellis for Ole Miss, 1.91. Keegan Thompson, 1.03 ERA for Auburn. Christian Trent, 2.91 on the opposite end for Ole Miss. And Michael O'Neal on Sunday will get the start for Auburn, 3.38 ERA. And Sam Smith, 2.36 ERA. I mean, any of those numbers, again, would be tops on the staff no more than maybe 4 to 5 years ago, and such a drastic difference. So when you're making errors behind those type ERA numbers, you're giving them more opportunities for players on base, which in turn always means more runs for the opposition, and that's the biggest hindrance you see for the Tigers right now.
Yeah, I would imagine that 1.03 ERA of Keegan Thompson after about 8 starts would probably be leading the country 6 or 7 years ago. That like you said, I mean, when your worst starting pitcher is 1-4 and it's got a 4.10 ERA, 4.10. I mean, that's not great, but in college baseball, you gotta have to readjust your acclimation. Used to that, you'd look at that and you'd say, hey, he's having a pretty good year. Not the record, but the ERA wise. But now 4.10, that's kind of getting knocked around a good bit. And Auburn's got had some trouble out of the bullpen too. They've got good starting pitching, but haven't been able to maintain that. Like Jay Wade's having a really good year, another senior, 3-0 with a 1.42 ERA. But some of the other guys have kind of struggled, and pretty kind of high ERAs. Terrence Dedrick's not having quite the year that he wanted to have. Trey Cochran-Gill, ERA's a little higher than he would like, but again, Auburn is only 1 game out of first in the West, so it's certainly still there for the taking, and that's why this is still, again, a big series.
And what does that mean when you're 5-4 in conference for Auburn? We've said it on this program. We'll say it again. In only 2 years has Auburn finished with a winning record in the SEC since Hal Baird left back in 2000. Only 2 years. One was in 2003 when Auburn finished 18-12 and went to an NCAA regional, and one was back in 2010 where Pulowski also went to the NCAA regional. Now, out of the last 7 years that Hal Baird was there, between 93 and 2000, Auburn was positive in the league 6 out of those 7 years. So that's the downturn that you've seen with this Auburn baseball program. That's the hope when you bring in a great coach like Sonny Galloway. So a 5-4 mark is really an upswing, I would take, especially when you go on the road to a Tennessee team that's playing like they are this year, and you win 2 out of 3. It means fairly well, but this is a huge series this weekend.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And again, the SEC is top to bottom such a tremendous league too. You look down through the rankings, you have South Carolina number 2 in the country, Vandy, in the top 10, Mississippi State in the top 10, Florida right outside at number 13, Alabama at number 15, LSU at number 20, Kentucky at number 22, and Ole Miss rounded out at 23. Now, that is Baseball America. They some vastly different rankings. If you go through and look, there's about 3 or 4 different rankings throughout, baseball. But top to bottom, the SEC probably the best league in America. So if you're going to have a winning record in this league, you're going to earn it.
Some all SEC caliber hitting for the Tigers this year, especially at the top of the batting order. Dominic Tomska is .393 average, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs as a senior. Great to see him playing this well.
Yeah, and you look down through there, and that's the thing. The leader in the team is 21 RBIs. And you see guys like a guy like Ryan Tella, who's having a really good year, 10 RBIs. You would think, and you would hope they would have a little beefier numbers, in the RBI category. But like you said, the guys have really kind of stepped up here as of late, and the batting averages have risen, and even some freshmen have stepped up and played really well and swung the bat well at the plate.
888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Sportscall AU is where you can find us on Twitter. If you've got comments or questions, we would love to hear from you there. Our question of the day is, would you miss the birth of your first child for your job? Boomer Esiason thought that he would. Had mentioned having a C-section before the season started. He gets blasted as we were talking during the break, especially the March of Dimes organization blasted him today, and for much needed and for a good reason he got it. And so if you're looking for those comments, you can go to our Sports Call Twitter or Facebook page. You can find us there, and we'll pass those along. We're looking forward and just getting started here in the first hour of the program. We'll have DeMarco McNeil, who was a part of the all-decade team from 2000, had 150 tackles, 13 sacks, was an all-SEC first-team performer as a senior, as he had 55 tackles and 7 sacks that season. So he's a great player. Was Mr. Football in the state of Alabama back in 1998 for Blount High School. So we'll have him on with us coming up next. More from the Friday edition of Sports Call after this break.
Have you been waiting to refinance your mortgage because you're concerned about the value of your home? Recent market data shows that property values have been increasing in our area.
The HomePlace Flex allows you to choose your term, whether you're looking to take years off of your mortgage or lower your monthly payment. Now is the time to act while rates are still at historic lows.
HomePlace Mortgage, located at 323 Airport Plaza, Unit A in Auburn. 334-521-7600. HomePlaceMTG.com.
With over 40 years of combined experience, SignSource is the premier sign supplier for Central Alabama. From illuminated and monument signs for your business, to banners, car wraps, or political yard signs for the individual, SignSource can do it all. We specialize in designing sign concepts that get results. Contact us today at 256-825-0197 or on the web at signsourcenow.com. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
June will mark 10 years of providing quality T-shirts, athletic uniforms, and promotional products for Lee Apparel. Our success is due in large part to the customers we serve in the Lake Martin community and the great state of Alabama. Our hopes are for many more years of success and growth. Contact Lee Apparel today at 256-825-0197 or on the web at leeapparel.com.
Looking for one of the best ways to market your business effectively?
Advertise with R&B Media through Sports Blitz, Sports Call, and the AHSA radio network. High school and college athletics are king in Alabama, and consumers of media that center around this subject are steadily on the rise. Get the best of both worlds, radio and TV sports talk throughout the state of Alabama. To learn more, contact us today at 256-794-8223.
Lake Winds Golf Course, the most affordable, quality round of golf in central Alabama. Located right off Highway 280 on County Road 40 in Alexander City. Lake Winds Golf Course offers affordable memberships, an updated pro shop, junior golf program, annual tournaments, and weekly matches. Call for your tee time today, 256-825-9860. Lake Winds Golf Course.
Sarah Honda of Sylacauga is the region's #1 Honda dealer for 3 simple reasons. 1. Sarah Honda offers guaranteed lowest pricing. 2. The best service after the sale with a full service department. And 3. The most money for your trade that dramatically affects your payments and puts you in a positive equity situation. At Sarah Honda, we give you all the incentives and have the best financing options in the region. Price, service, and selection. Shop online at sarahhonda.net or call Dino or Mike at 1-800-NEW-HONDA.
Looking for the most comprehensive sports show in Alabama? Catch Sports Blitz live from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. Join Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, and Luke Robinson as they discuss the latest in high school, collegiate, and nationwide athletics. Tune in to FM Talk 95.9, watch live on ACN Charter Channel 80, or catch the live stream at sportsblitzlive.com. That's sports with a Z. That's Sports Blitz Live, Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Welcome back into the Friday edition of Sports Call. Randy Lee alongside Andy Graham, taking your phone calls at 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. We'll actually take your phone calls on the other side as we're happy to bring another guest on this afternoon, and DeMarco McNeil, a member of the All-Century, or excuse me, the All-Decade team of the 2000s for the Auburn Tigers. DeMarco, you there with us, buddy?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Good to have you on, DeMarco, and I know we've been trying to catch up with one another, and happy to have you here with us on this Auburn Sports Call program.
Okay, glad to be here. Glad to be here.
DeMarco, you're currently at Alabama State, and I want to kind of start there as Alabama State as having you at defensive tackle coach. Just talk about your move to Alabama State and your thoughts being there.
It was a smooth transition. Actually, I'm coaching the whole defensive line right now. We got a great coach, Reggie Barlow. We play 1AA. We played Kentucky last year, but we're doing well right now. We're 84 the last couple of years, and weren't able to win a division. We lost tiebreakers, but hopefully this year we can get over the hump.
You know, DeMarco, you were Mr. Football in the state of Alabama back in 1998, so a highly sought-out recruit. And talk about that. Talk about the difference in recruiting as you recruited at Auburn, and also what you're looking for at Alabama State when you're out on the recruiting circuit. How's it different than what, say, Rodney Gardner's doing over at Auburn?
Right now, when it came out, in 1999, it wasn't all this media stuff, internet, Facebook, and all that stuff. It's basically making relationships with the players and the coaches. That kind of relationship was very important. But now it seems like there's a lot more people involved. You got basically players, coaches, and you got somewhat like street agents, sport agents, that kind of deal. But right now, as far as like comparing Rodney Gardner deal to me, I'm basically I got to beat more bushes. Ain't too many people gonna come, saying that they're gonna play for Alabama State in a sense that everybody have a D1 dream and playing the SEC just like I did. But I just try to build relationships with those kind of guys, and either small 1A schools or 1AA schools, and try to make the best decision possible is just trying to find football players.
DeMarco, you coming out of Blount High School in Mobile, and there's not a better hotbed in the state of Alabama than the city of Mobile. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, Mobile, probably it's definitely the best, playing the best football in the state, and probably in the Southeast as well. It's, a lot of talent comes from there. There's a lot of schools there. There's a lot of great coaches in the Mobile area, Mobile, Baldwin County area. Every year you'll see it, multiple guys signing SEC scholarships, and a lot of other guys signing D1 scholarships like South Alabama, Troy, things of that nature. So, it's a great testament to the communities, the high school coaches, and just for the simple fact that football is very important to everyone down there, not just players, but the parents, and now the moms getting more involved in it as well. So football is important, which makes them take football a little more seriously, and it's important to the coaches to teach them the right way. And I think that's one of the leading factors why it's a hotbed down in Mobile.
DeMarco, talk about you being from down there, Damian Craig as well from Auburn from being down there, and does it make it easier for you to go back home and recruit that area, and is that important to the high school coaches and the parents that you talk to down there?
It does, because I try to stay connected in the Mobile and Pritchard area where I'm from in particular. Because I just try to just be personable, and when you get to telling stories about where you're from, and somehow or another they're going to be connected to someone else who they know, and it makes the recruiting process easier. So it won't just be player, coach or what have you, parent coach. It'll be DeMarco McNeil, Mrs. Johnson in a sense. But being from down there, it helps a lot. Know a lot of people, but you just got to be a great person as well. They ain't gonna hate. They ain't gonna help anyone that's a bad person or what have you. But I think that's what thing about Damian Craig. He's a great person. Like he's personable as well. He's down to earth. And, when you have those kind of people going to recruit 17, 18-year-old kids, and then you talk to the parents, and the parents are going to trust in you. And so those are one of the things that helps a lot as well.
Well, DeMarco McNeil on the phone with us, and we appreciate him taking a little time, a member of the 2000s All-Decade team. And if you want to talk about somebody that's got a great name down in the Mobile area, it is DeMarco, as he was Mr. Football at Blount High School back in 1998. He was an All-SEC performer his senior year at Auburn with 55 tackles and 7 sacks, 150 overall tackles and 13 sacks. And DeMarco, just a tremendous career. Talk about your time at Auburn a little bit.
It was a great time. I went by fast. I started off red shirt, and that's one thing, nowadays you don't see kids doing. They want a red shirt. But I ended up red shirting along probably more than half my the class I came in with, because at that time it was Coach Tuberville's first year, and he was trying to build a program versus trying to win right now. And, it went by fast. We went to the SEC championship my redshirt freshman year. I wasn't able to get that. I always thought we had the teams, but I probably lost a crucial game here and there to not go. But met great people that's still at Auburn to the day. Great time there. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
And DeMarco, you moving on and have moved into the coaching ranks. And can you just run us down? I know you're at Alabama State now, but where did you start? Did you have some high school stints? And give us a rundown of your coaching career.
I started off when I stopped playing, chasing the dream, the NFL dream, what have you. I went back to Blount High School and coached there for a year, and from there, and I also was teaching as well down in Mobile, and I was teaching PE pre-K through 5th grade, and that what led me to tell myself that I want to be a college coach. But from there, I GA'd there in Auburn for 2 years. When I left Auburn, I had an opportunity to coach Division III ball at Birmingham Southern. A great opportunity for me. I was able to coach my own guys at that that time, and I think it was like 2011. From Birmingham Southern, I went to the University of Tennessee. I was a strength and conditioning intern working with the D-line. Stayed there for a year and a half, and from there, I came to Alabama State. So kind of going full circle in a sense, but, I enjoyed every stop I made.
DeMarco, with the college landscape kind of changing before our eyes with the new ruling that Northwestern can now unionize, just from a guy that played the sport, you put the blood, sweat, tears in, you went to all the team meetings and everything that's involved with playing for an SEC caliber team. What's your stance on, or what's your feeling about what a college scholarship is worth, or what college football players maybe deserve?
At first, I was into the notion of college athletes shouldn't get paid because you're getting a great education. You've been in relationships and you're doing things that you probably wouldn't do without football or what have you. But when you start to crunch the numbers in which the NCAA, the millions of dollars they put in each and every year, you'd like to see it funnel back to the kids. I think that's one thing I think the union is trying to do is funnel not only the money but the protection as far as like injuries are concerned to the kids as well. And I want a big component, like I said, of college athletes getting paid, but the money have to go somewhere, and I just don't think it should sit in the laps of guys who just sit behind a desk and just make decisions. It should be funneled back to the kids that work and play football, and football is a year-round sport nowadays. So I just think that they should somehow or another it should be funneled back to the kids.
DeMarco McNeil on the phone with us, and one final question for you, DeMarco. And one of those teams that made the NCAA quite a bit of money last year was our Auburn Tigers, and I know you as a former player had to be thrilled with what you saw Gus Malzahn do in his first year. Just talk about it a little bit.
Coach Malzahn did and is doing a great job there at Auburn. He really got back to the basics. I try to tell people all the time that football isn't really a hard game. It's about blocking and tackling and the effort that you put into it, and that's what they're doing. They basically running the ball, stopping the run, giving everything they got, and putting themselves in a situation to be successful. And that's what they're doing. I know talking to Coach Malzahn, he keep bringing up, he's 13 seconds away from winning the national championship. But they're gonna come. Just really was proud of those guys this past year. Went to the Alabama-Auburn game, and that was the greatest game I ever been a part of. And I was on the field. Actually, I'll tell anybody, I was. If you watch close, I was the very first person on the field when he ran for the touchdown. But Coach Malzahn, he's doing a great job of just restoring just what we built on, and that's work. Just working hard. And you work hard, you put all you have into something, then you're going to get positive results. And that's what Auburn did last year, and that's what they're going to continue to do.
Well, DeMarco, we wish you nothing but the best at Alabama State. Would love to see you back at Auburn one day, potentially. And thanks for taking a little time being on the program with us this afternoon.
Oh, that's no problem. I already got my numbers. I ain't hard to find, so I love to be back there as well. But I love my job here at Alabama State. But I appreciate you as well, taking time out for being to you as well.
Thank you, DeMarco, and that's the great DeMarco McNeil, Mr. Football in the state of Alabama back in 1998, and a member of Auburn's all-decade team back in the 2000s as he was an all-SEC performer at defensive tackle as a senior. Up against another break here on the Friday edition of Sports Call. When we come back, we'll close out the first hour.
It was just one of those days. I had a million things to do. This was the last thing I was expecting.
No matter how well you drive, things happen. And when they do, the ASE certified technicians at Franklin Tire and Auto know there's only one way to fix it, the right way. From accident repair to factory scheduled maintenance, Franklin Tire will give you honest, dependable service at a competitive price. Proudly serving the area since 1970 and still locally owned and operated.
No shortcuts, no compromise, and friendly service every time. Franklin Tire and Auto in Auburn, 821-4572 and FranklinAutoInc.com.
Auburn Bank has money to lend because you have financial goals, a home to buy, kids to raise, a business to grow, your children's education to pay for. For what matters most to you in your life, our experienced, willing lenders are ready to help you achieve your goals. Auburn Bank, since 1907, your partner, your neighbor, your friend. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Online at auburnbank.com.
Father, I have a confession.
What is it, my child?
I ate a roast beef sandwich. I just couldn't seem to find any good fish.
Have you tried the shrimp basket?
The shrimp basket.
For 40 days starting March 5th through Good Friday, April 18th, the Shrimp Basket will be serving a variety of all-you-can-eat fish every day, as well as fresh catch options, too. Visit shrimpbasket.com to locate one of our many Shrimp Basket locations.
Thank you, Shrimp Basket.
Head to the Shrimp Basket, 1651 South College in Auburn.
In today's competitive environment, time is money. Allegra Printing in Auburn has the fastest turnaround. With their state-of-the-art, all-digital printing equipment, Allegra delivers with speed, precision, and quality every time. And their outside sales reps will help you from start to finish, so you don't even have to leave your office. From simple to sophisticated, turn to Allegra, East Alabama's go-to print company for more than 25 years. Visit them in Auburn at 1625 East University Drive or call 887-3180. Allegra Printing. Quality service, expert solutions, professional results.
Auburn Links is your home for great golf. Just off exit 51, Auburn Links features a beautiful layout with Bermuda grass greens and rolling fairways, all right next to Parkerson's Mill Creek. For the last 20 years, Auburn Links has been providing Lee County with the best golfing experience around, whatever your skill level may be. Looking for a fun family activity? Auburn Links has great group rates and membership specials for everyone, and their weekday rates now include Fridays. Be sure to follow Auburn Links on Facebook and Twitter for special deals and limited time offers. Auburn Links on Shell Tumor Parkway. Call 887-5151.
There's nothing like the signature honey glazed spiral sliced ham from Honey Baked. Hey, this is Crystal. From catering corporate meetings to providing box lunches for your next event, Honey Baked Ham is just what you're looking for, including full meals with sides and desserts. Don't forget to stop by our deli for lunch or dinner, open 10 to 7, Monday through Saturday. You don't have to wait for the holidays. Plan your Honey Baked feast today. Give us a call at 741-8411, stop by and see us on Gateway Drive in Opelika, or order online at myhoneybakedstore.com. Honey Baked Ham, perfect every time. We guarantee it.
Did you know that with a bachelor's degree, on average, you can make almost twice as much over a lifetime than a person with just a high school diploma? Yes! According to the U.S. Census Bureau, you can make almost twice as much. Going back to college is now easier than ever. There are select online colleges that provide laptops to their students. In fact, there are thousands of college programs on your laptop. You can go to college anywhere and everywhere right from a laptop. Call My College Laptop, and you can find hundreds of programs from accredited colleges and universities nationwide. Start a new career in law enforcement, business, information technology, healthcare, and hundreds of others. Call My College Laptop to find an online college that will provide you with a laptop. In no time at all, you can double your earning potential. Double your earning potential. Call now, 1-800-398-1075. That's 800-398-1075. 800-398-1075.
I was left to my own device.
Welcome back into the Friday edition of Sportscall. Had the great DeMarco McNeil on and was happy to have him as he was a tremendous player back in the early 2000s for the Auburn Tigers. Randy Lee alongside Andy Graham. Quickly, we'll go back to the phone lines. Tony in Montgomery, you're on Sportscall.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing this afternoon?
Good. How about you, Tony?
I'm doing pretty good. First off, I want to ask, get this out of the way, what are the times and is there any TV for Auburn, the 3 games this weekend for the baseball team?
The times are 6:30 tonight, 4 o'clock tomorrow, and 1:30 on Sunday. As far as I know, there's no television for any of those games. The softball team will be on ESPNU on Saturday at 5 o'clock.
Okay. All right. Well, I was listening to Marco, and I remember D.D. Green, he was part of that class. And you're right. Right now, the best football, I believe, as a whole in the state is being played probably in the southern part of the state. My niece and nephew have two boys. My niece has one boy playing for Spanish Fort. And, of course, you know what they've done the last 2 years.
Sure do.
And I'm a 1976 graduate, Jeff Davis volunteer. And so, you know, and it bothers me that Montgomery football, I mean, you know, I played against folks like Major Ogilvy out of Mountain Brook and Stedman Shealy from Dothan. And it bothers me that we're not competitive, except for Carver, that we're not competitive. And you can't tell me that there's not talent in this city to make good football teams that Lee Lanier and Jeff Davis. And I want to get your opinion on why that's happened over the last 15 years. The last team to win a state championship from Montgomery, I think, was Jeff Davis in 2002, or maybe a year or two before that. But I want to hang up and War Eagle, and I can get your opinion on that.
Yeah, thanks so much for your phone call. And, Tony, I've got some definite opinions on that. And honestly, I don't know how politically correct it is, but it's pretty much the segregation of Montgomery has happened again. And private school system over there, and they've got some great football teams playing in the private school sector. And Carver of Montgomery is as good as anybody in the state outside of Hoover, in my opinion. They have not quite gotten over the hump to make it to a title game, but over the last 15 years, they have played a good brand of football as you have seen just about anywhere. So Carver's doing a tremendous job, but we actually here at Benjamin Russell played in that region for 4 consecutive years. So I got to see up close and personal the Robert E. Lees and the Sidney Laniers and those teams that used to have tremendous talent they put on the field, and it was always only Jeff Davis, and it was just now Carver. And to go back to your point, Jeff Davis, I think, won a state championship back in '99, and that was the last state championship outside of Prattville, Hoover, and Daphne in this state. Think about that. Out of the last 15 years, only 3 teams have won championships in what was 6A. Hoover, a majority of those. Prattville comes in a close second. And then Daphne has won a couple of state championships, one back in the early 2000s and then one back in 2010. So it's been a long stretch. I hate to see it for the city of Montgomery. We talk about it all the time, honestly, with us doing the radio network. What a drastic difference 15 years has been.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was in high school, Robert E. Lee was so dominant. Fred Beasley came out of there. Of course, when Spence McCracken was there and they won a couple of state titles, you just see how it's changed now. Robert E. Lee hasn't been relevant in 10 to 15 years. And it hasn't even been close to being relevant. And now you have Jeff Davis and Robert E. Lee moving up to 7A. That's only going to make it that much more of a discrepancy between them and being competitive, I would imagine.
Basketball, they have been.
Right. Yeah.
And the
what's the difference?
I'm telling you, it's the segregation of the schools. I mean, you have look. I don't think I'm turning a blind eye to the reality. I mean, you can watch and remember playing them very well back in that, and the demographics that you saw on the field at that time was much different than what you see. And I don't think that has anything to do with it because, I think that it has something to do with it in some of the schools, but Carver has proven that you can still play a great brand of football and still see what you've seen with the migration to private schools. The public school and the private school sector in Montgomery is totally separate than what you're seeing on the other side of the mountain in Birmingham. The other side of the mountain in Birmingham, your Mountain Brooks, your Vestavias, your Hoovers of the world, your Oak Mountains and Pelhams, the Thompsons, you haven't seen that migration to private schools like you've seen completely in the city of Montgomery.
Yeah, well, obviously it has made a tremendous difference. But, surely if it can be done at Carver, you would think with the right coach. Is it an apathy among the student body that they can't get, they can't get enough players out there to make a difference? You would think with the right coach they could come in. And, of course, we're talking about high school athletics. You don't really go out and try to recruit a big coach. Usually you take what you can get, in high school football especially. We're not talking, the lower levels. So I don't know what the answer is, but it's definitely an issue.
Well, it's a good topic, and it's brought up a lot. And if you've got comments you'd like to make on that topic, we'll take them. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. One of the best ways to get in touch with us or send a comment our way, Sportscall AU on Twitter, and you can find us on Facebook as well. Second hour of the program coming up next.
Chief says Kelly Blue Book is held over due to overwhelming response. Carl Gregory's gigantic Kelly Blue Book used car event is being held over. Every pre-owned vehicle is drastically discounted to Kelly Blue Book pricing. Buy any pre-owned vehicle on the lot at what Kelly Blue Book says it's worth. Plus, on-the-spot financing, even if your credit is less than perfect. Don't miss this chance to buy at Kelly Blue Book prices. Held over for one final week at Carl Gregory's 2 giant pre-owned supercenters.
Ever wondered what LMG can do for you? The possibilities are endless.
LMG offers custom apparel and promotional products, any type of signage and vehicle wraps, web design and internet marketing, video production, paper products, and more. Visit us online at leemarketing.net. 3 locations to best serve you: Madison Street in Alexander City, Highway 280 in Dadeville, and Frederick Road in Auburn. LMG, success by design.
When you're on Lake Martin and looking to own a boat, it pays to know what the locals know. Alex City Marine in Alexander City and the all-new Alex City Marine 2 on Highway 63 across from the mini mall is Lake Martin's premier Landau pontoon boat dealer and the area's authorized Suzuki, Honda, and Mercury outboard dealer. Alex City Marine has the industry's best brands and backs it up with the industry's best boat repair with marine certified specialists that get it done right. Whether summerization or a full overhaul, Alex City Marine has you covered. On both ends of the lake, know what the locals know. Alex City Marine.
Before the big game on Saturday, tune in to Saturday Sports Countdown on FM Talk 95.9 from 10 a.m. to noon. Luke Robinson, Randy Lee, and Brett Pritchard break down the day's biggest games and keep you up to date on the latest from the sports world. Call the guys at 256-234-6464 and watch live at sportsblitzlive.com. That's sports with a Z. That's Saturday Sports Countdown, 10 a.m. to noon on FM Talk 95.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 93.9, WTGZ, Union Springs, Montgomery, and Auburn, and AM 620 WTRP, LaGrange.
Fox Sports trending now.
The Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks have agreed to a new 3-year extension with head coach Pete Carroll through 2016. The Tennessee Titans have released running back Chris Johnson, and the New Orleans Saints have signed 12-time Pro Bowl cornerback Champ Bailey to a 2-year deal. Baseball finals, the Tigers trounced the Orioles 10-4 as Miguel Cabrera got his 2,000th career hit on a home run. The Brewers scored 4 in the ninth to beat the Red Sox 6-2 at Fenway. Phillies over the Cubs at Wrigley 7-2. Chase Utley a home run and 3 RBI. Right now the Giants have an 8-2 lead over the Dodgers in the bottom of the 5th. Dodgers outfielder Yasiel Puig was benched by manager Don Mattingly after arriving late to the ballpark for batting practice. Dodgers owner Magic Johnson told the LA Times of Puig, quote, "We don't want him late for games. He has to make the right decisions. I'm glad Don is doing what he's doing." I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
We are Buckhorns.
Ware Jewelers 68th anniversary sale with savings up to 46% in every department. You'll be amazed at how many things are on sale. The friendly folks at Ware Jewelers are slashing prices. The longer the items in stock, the greater the savings. Loose diamonds, engagement rings, timepieces, giftware, pearls, gemstones, diamond jewelry, wedding and anniversary bands, and much more. Layaway is available. See stores for details. Ware Jewelers 68th anniversary sale, Thursday, April the 3rd through Saturday, April the 19th.
Hi, this is Melinda from Life South. Did you know that Life South is your community blood center? Did you know that when you donate with Life South, your donation stays right here at home? Every 2 to 3 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood. You can make a difference this year and do something amazing. You could save the life of a friend, a family member, or even a coworker. To find out more about how you can host a blood drive or donate with Life South, visit our website, www.lifesouth.org. Do something amazing. Donate with Life South Community Blood Centers today.
This is a referral service. Calls will be routed to an independent referral insurance agency. Do you know the #1 cause of bankruptcy? No, it's not losing your job or running up credit card debt. It's not even divorce. It's medical costs. If you and your family don't have health insurance, just one serious illness or accident could be financially devastating. But now there's good news, really good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide health insurance for all Americans, even uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Now anyone can get health insurance even if you have a pre-existing medical condition. I repeat, now anyone can get health insurance coverage. Call now for a free no-obligation quote on affordable health plans available to you. Again, this is a free hotline for anyone, even if you have pre-existing conditions. Protect you and your family from sudden unexpected medical costs. Call the free health insurance hotline right now at 1-800-842-1835. That's 1-800-842-1835. Call 1-800-842-1835.
Remove the hard work and confusion from growing your business with brand management and growth through Lee Marketing Group. LMG offers logo design, web development, search engine optimization, social media management, and more. Physical and virtual marketing is an amazing tool businesses need to utilize in today's economy. Stay ahead of your competition and reach new customers. Contact us today, 888-533-6758, or visit us online at leemarketing.net to learn more.
You better buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be a show to watch.
From Tiger Communications.
Jackson! Touchdown!
For 20 years, East Alabama's sports talk leader.
Swing and drive! Go to right!
Sportscall.
Oh, what a dunk!
Call in now at 887-3401-LOCAL. Or 1-888-9-TIGER-9, toll free.
Struck him out!
And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Sports Call.
Welcome back into the Friday edition of Sports Call. I'm Randy Lee alongside Andy Graham. We'll be taking your phone calls the entire second hour of the program, 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Sports Call AU is where you can find us on Twitter. And let's go back to the phone lines. Luke in Alex City, you're on Sports Call.
Hey guys, how are y'all? How's it going this afternoon?
Good. How about you, Luke?
Doing well. I'm actually about to drive through Montgomery, and I'm listening to your take on it, and it's interesting. I mean, even though I hate to I see what you're saying, Randy, and I hate to call it a segregation. That sounds forced. I don't think any of this is obviously forced. I think that somehow, some way, talent is escaping a lot of these city schools. It used to be that Robert E. Lee would be stacked. Jeff Davis used to have plenty of talent. And now I don't think the talent's there, and I don't know why. Maybe it's an overall apathy towards football because Andy made a good point that basketball-wise, for the most part, the city seems to be keeping up. But it's disturbing because I would certainly like for Robert E. Lee and for Sidney Lanier and for Jeff Davis and all those types of schools to be up there among the ranks with Carver.
You know, Luke, when I look at the student population for those schools, all of them still in the top 50, right around the top 20 actually in the state and student population. So it has to be something like that because to have 1,1600 kids going to Jeff Davis High School and to not find a good, talented senior class of football players that, 3 or 4, which I think was the norm back in the 90s, at least when I started keeping up with it. It is surprising, and it has to be an apathy or coaching or a mixture of both.
Yeah, you have to. Football is a sport too. I mean, it's not like basketball where you can have 1 or 2 guys, or really just one, on your basketball team, and he can take you to a championship, no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to have at least a decent offensive line. You've got to have some moderate talent on that line, or very good chemistry. You've got to have a quarterback that is either incredibly athletic and skilled, or is a very good game manager. You've got to have a running back that can at least expose a hole in the defense from time to time. So maybe they just don't have the right combination. Whatever it is very sad, because I know I'd like to see all corners of the state do well in football, and so we don't know where the champion's going to come from on an annual basis, because right now it's Hoover's tournament and we're all just watching.
Good points. And, Luke, before we let you off the air this afternoon, we'd love to hear some updates. How's it going over in Tuscaloosa with spring practice?
Well, we're going to find out tomorrow. There's going to be a big scrimmage. I can't wait for it. There are certainly a lot of questions out there. It's a big weekend for Alabama in terms of having some visitors as well. So they got a big commitment about an hour ago from Richie Pettibone out of the D.C. area. That was to be expected. He's visiting this weekend. He's one of the top 5 offensive guards in the country, and that gives Alabama 3 of the top 10 offensive guards in the country, with Dallas Warmack and Lester Cotton out of Tuscaloosa, and now Richie Pettibone. So that's very good. But, I'm going to take a lot away from this scrimmage tomorrow, see which quarterback steps up. I mean, honestly, I have heard the positive and negative things about every single one of them almost on a daily basis. Today Blake Sims was awesome, and the next day Cooper Bateman's really coming on strong, and Blake Sims fell off. So it's going to be interesting to see who really steps up in that regard. But I think in the end, we all know this is probably going to be Jacob Coker's job to lose when he gets here in the fall. But one other thing I wanted to talk about, guys, I love your question of the day, because that has been, I can't believe how big of a topic this has been all over sports radio as I've been driving back from Mobile. I mean, it has really gotten people fired up. And I can say this as a guy with 3 kids. My first one, I was a nervous wreck. I was scared to death. And by the time the third one came around, I think I wouldn't miss a rerun of Law and Order before. It was old hat. It was okay. I mean, your first one is one of those things where you just don't know what to expect until you go through it. But having said that, my initial reaction about the baseball player missing a game was, okay, I get it, but it confirms to me that there are too many games in baseball, because I don't think you'd see an NFL player, and let's not kid ourselves, college football players have kids too, that I don't think you'd see a player for Auburn or Alabama miss a game. Do you think you'd see Trey Mason missed the Iron Bowl for the birth of his child, or A.J. McCarron? I mean, let's be real about it. It just tells me again that the regular season in baseball just doesn't mean as much.
Good points, and point well taken, and we'll definitely pass along that. Look forward to tuning in to you tomorrow. Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown will be on 95.9 over in Auburn and Opelika, and you and Brett will be hosting from 10 to 12 tomorrow, Luke.
Look forward to it.
That's Luke Robinson there, and he brings up a good point. Your thoughts on what he's saying, because really.
Well, I think it's kind of like apples and oranges, though, with football and baseball. I don't think you can really compare the schedules. I mean, say you knocked off 50 games from the Major League Baseball season. That first 3 games would still matter a lot less. When you only play, 12 games for a season in college football, it's just a totally, different thing. It's, more comparable maybe to the NBA season. Would you see, a guy sit out a game or 2 in an 82-game season? Yeah, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And I think that's kind of one of the things that a lot of people like about baseball is that it is a slower pace, and it is a longer season where every single instant doesn't, make or break the season. You have a cumulative, cumulative kind of effect of of everything the whole season. Everybody, a lot of different games being played. So yeah, I understand his point, and the one about the third child, I see that, and I've heard somebody else make that point too. But that first child, and it wouldn't matter to me if this was his third child. If he wanted to miss it, that'd be fine for me too.
Update on TV schedule for Sunday's Auburn game.
Yeah, this is for Tony. I was mistaken there, or I just didn't know. The Sunday game is the 1:30 game at Ole Miss. Is going to be on CSS. So, Tony, that's for you.
888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Our LMG question of the day, would you miss the birth of your first child for your job? Call in with that. We got a trivia question I'll pass along to you, and if you call in and get this one correct, Sportscall package that you can pick up at our LMG office on Frederick Road in Opelika. That's a T-shirt and decal. 4 players have scored at least 1,500 points in each of their first 11 NBA seasons. Name those 4 players. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. Couple more minutes left here on this segment. Never got a chance to get to softball, but you'll know a lot more about Auburn's softball team after this weekend, Andy.
Yeah, it's one thing to go on the road and beat Kentucky, who was playing really, really well, and it was number 10 in the country. But it's another thing to go on the road and play Florida. This Florida team, number 7 in the country. They a tremendous team. They've been a good team for quite a while. So this is going to be a very, very telling matchup, like you said. Auburn goes on the road to Gainesville. The first game at 6 p.m. on tonight. Saturday's game at 5 p.m. on ESPNU national television. Great exposure for Auburn and Clint Myers and the softball program, and then they wrap up on the Sunday at 1 o'clock. Auburn, again, kind of the opposite of the baseball team. You see them, they hit the ball extremely well, but their fielding percentage, number 3 in the conference. They've made one of the fewest amount of errors in the SEC. They've turned more double plays than anybody in the SEC. They've hit into fewer double plays than anybody in the SEC. They're doing all the things right on the defensive side to take advantage and not let anybody, they just don't let mistakes beat them. They play, flawless softball, and sometimes, that kind of covers up a lot of things, especially when you can hit the ball like they do.
Well, hitting the long ball, 54 home runs, first in the conference there, RBIs 302, so timely hitting, and we've said that every day we're on the program, timely hitting for Clint Myers. And what is it, Andy? If we had a special potion that you could just wave around a team, but coaching is unbelievable how much it means to every team that you have in sports. I could say that a coach is uber important in football, but not quite as much in baseball, but maybe very important in softball. It's not that way. A great coach, and you can flip mode what's going on in one single season.
Yeah, if you could bottle it, you'd be a billionaire. And I don't know what it is, but like you said, you think, and I've long since thought that a manager, in baseball was the least important, head figure. But there's a reason Tony La Russa has got more World Series than, his contemporaries. There's a reason Joe Torre won a lot of World Series. There's a reason Bobby Cox won, 13 straight division titles. There's a reason Clint Myers comes in, and this team all of a sudden looks like they're number 19 in the country. They're doing things that they have not done ever in the history of the program. And, again, they run the same kind of drills. The ball's round. It's the same dimensions of the field. I don't understand it, but the guy is just about as good as it gets and has turned around the program quicker. It's Gus Malzahn. I mean, it's the same type of turnaround.
888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. 4 players have scored at least 1,500 points in each of their first 11 NBA seasons. Name those 4 players. 334-887-3401 locally. More from the Friday edition of Sports Call after this break.
Ever wondered what LMG can do for you? The possibilities are endless.
LMG offers custom apparel and promotional products, any type of signage and vehicle wraps, web design and internet marketing, video production, paper products, and more. Visit us online at leemarketing.net. 3 locations to best serve you: Madison Street in Alexander City, Highway 280 in Dadeville, and Frederick Road in Auburn. LMG, success by design.
When you're looking for the best chicken fingers and wings in town, nothing else will hit the spot better than JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has everything you need to curb a big appetite, and they have all-you-can-eat chicken fingers on Monday night and all-you-can-eat wings on Tuesday night. Any child wearing their City League uniform eats for $1.99 on the kids menu. Check out our Facebook page daily for our dine-in special. Visit us at 145 Alabama Street in Alex City.
Have you been waiting to refinance your mortgage because you're concerned about the value of your home? Recent market data shows that property values have been increasing in our area.
The HomePlace Flex allows you to choose your term, whether you're looking to take years off of your mortgage or lower your monthly payment. Now is the time to act while rates are still at historic lows.
HomePlace Mortgage, located at 323 Airport Plaza, Unit A in Auburn, 334-521-7600, homeplacemtg.com.
Videos have always been the best way to teach, amaze, and amuse people. With the advent of YouTube, companies big and small are producing videos that sell, promote, and increase conversion rates. Videos engage your customers, meaning more visibility, more customers, and revenue for your business. How do you get your video to stand out amongst all those customers and garner the most attention? R&B Media Video Production. Find out more at www.rnbmedia.com.
Sarah Honda in Sylacauga is the region's #1 Honda dealer for 3 simple reasons. One, Sarah Honda offers guaranteed lowest pricing. 2, the best service after the sale with a full service department. And 3, the most money for your trade that dramatically affects your payments and puts you in a positive equity situation. At Sarah Honda, we give you all the incentives and have the best financing options in the region. Price, service, and selection. Shop online at sarahhonda.net or call Dino or Mike at 1-800-NEW-HONDA.
S&S Discount Tire on Cherokee Road in Alex City is the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealership and a place for everything mechanical. Weary and the S&S Tire crew are ready to serve you with double the capacity from routine oil changes to full engine overhauls and all transmission work. S&S Tire can handle it all. That's S&S Tire on Cherokee Road. Call David or Weary today at 256-215-8822. Visit S&S Discount Tire at 224 East South Street in Dadeville, now in 2 locations.
With over 40 years of combined experience, SignSource is the premier sign supplier for Central Alabama. From illuminated and monument signs for your business, to banners, car wraps, or political yard signs for the individual, SignSource can do it all. We specialize in designing sign concepts that get results. Contact us today at 256-825-0197 or on the web at signsourcenow.com. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
Looking for the most comprehensive sports show in Alabama? Catch Sports Blitz Live from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. Join Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, and Luke Robinson as they discuss the latest in high school, collegiate, and nationwide athletics. Tune in to FM Talk 95.9, watch live on ACN Charter Channel 80, or catch the live stream at sportsblitzlive.com. That's sports with a Z. That's Sports Blitz Live, Tuesday, 7 to 9 p.m. Welcome back into the Friday edition of Sports Call. Randy Lee alongside Andy Graham. Our LMG question of the day that we brought to you there in the first segment of the program. Would you miss the birth of your first child for your job? As we move into this next segment, it's brought to you by Carl Gregory Chrysler, Jeep, and Carl Gregory Honda. I almost couldn't get that one out correctly. Each located at the North Lake Auto Mall in Columbus. Make sure to go by there and see them. We appreciate all of our great segment sponsors. Second hour of the program is all about you, the callers, and let's go back to the phone lines. Shadow and Prattville, you're on Sports Call.
Yes, thank you very much.
Listen, I wanted to call and make a comment and ask y'all a question. I heard today that Kevin Norwood said that after Alabama beat LSU last year, that they basically lost their motivation for the rest of the year. I know it's just really hard for Alabama fans to admit that they'd lost a football game, much less a 2-game losing streak. But I wanted to ask y'all if you believe that Nick Saban lost control of his football team last year.
I personally believe that watching that Auburn game, they did about as good as they could stopping that offense from Auburn. That's my personal belief. I think that when you look at the numbers that Auburn put up running the football, the final 2 games after the Alabama game, especially the Missouri game, and nobody was stopping that Auburn offense at that time of the year. So I don't believe that it had anything to do with losing your mojo. I think that's an excuse that was thrown out there, maybe in the Oklahoma game, but I really thought that Auburn, having Alabama at home and having some breaks go their way, we were as good as they were that night.
Well, I want to make another observation. Do you know that it was back in 1957 was the last time that Auburn scored that many points on Alabama in a football game?
That was a pretty good year for Auburn.
Yes, it was. And you know, I'm going to say that after we saw a number of things, and I even saw it in the Alabama game, I don't think I've ever seen an Alabama team unprepared to play Auburn. I don't think I've ever seen it that bad. And the reason I'm going to say that is this game has changed. It's for innovators. It is for people who are creative and people like Saban who want to maintain their level of success with an old-timey offense is over. I think that Nick Saban not only will not win another SEC title, but he will not win another national title, just like I don't believe Tiger Woods will win another major. And when you take a look at the changes, when you take a look at all the things that happened at Alabama last year, I just believe that Nick Saban's time in Alabama is over. Thank you.
Thank you, Shadow. And Andy, I'll let you spill out your thoughts on that.
Well, look, you know, did Nick Saban lose control of the program last year? No. You know, but did he lose a little bit of grip? Maybe. You know, he has such enormous and total and just just total control of that program that every little bit, every little crack that you see, is maybe just a little bit of a slip. You know, you see just here recently, Tenpenny being arrested. You know, you didn't see that for about 2 or 3 years. And now, you know, all of a sudden, you know, in the last couple of years, you've had, you know, multiple guys get arrested. You've seen, you know, some very curious coaching decisions, you know, hires. You've seen Alabama look beatable on the football field. Those kind of things, they definitely don't look like they did from 2009 to 2011. You know, that 2009 and, you know, 10 was a kind of a rebuilding year, but I would definitely say that there's definitely some signs there that maybe he has lost a little bit of his grip. But I certainly, you know, but I guess it's all relative to that. For him, might be losing control. Two
losses. I'm not ready to throw in the towel for Nick Saban, especially looking at if his recruiting rankings went from high 1 down to 10, then if I was an Alabama fan, I'd scratch my head and say that there's a problem. But as long as they continue to get the players that they get there, the biggest thing for us is I believe he's met his match. He's got to equal opponent across the state when it comes to coaching, and more than equal when it comes to having ingenuity. Is that a word that I can use there when it comes to offensive philosophy? And when you have that, you can make up the difference in a lot of cases. And I'll take Gus Malzahn, and I don't think we've been able to say that since Nick Saban's been at the helm. But I wouldn't trade him for Saban. I don't think Alabama would for us, but that's what makes for a beautiful rivalry. And as long as we can keep up with them across the state, I think we're going to have our chance to play for national titles. Let's go back to the phone line. Tony in Montgomery, you're back on Sports Call.
Hey, guys, I appreciate you letting me back on. I normally don't call twice in one day. But being fair about that thing, you know, Coach Saban is in a position where Alabama hadn't been in since his first year. They don't have a quarterback, an experienced quarterback coming back. I mean, this Coker kid is from Florida State. You know, they say he's going to be good, but you don't know. He's in a different league now. He doesn't play the caliber of talent that he'll face every week like he would when he was in the ACC. And number two, I want to correct Shadow. 69 is the last time we posted that many points. It was 49-26. And it's been 1968 was the last one. But Lanier has won more state championships than any other school in the state. And I couldn't tell you how you'd go back to look that up, but I know for a fact it's true. I played for Coach Livens at Jeff Davis, and he used to brag about that. But the people that I played with and went to school with at Jeff Davis and against at Lee particularly, I knew a lot of folks there. The reasons they give me, quality of education, and the biggest thing is the fear of the safety for their kids is why they send them to public school. And that's all I got.
Thank you. We appreciate your phone call. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. I'm going to pull that up for you as we've got a good source for pulling up records here in the state. And, Tony, we'll have that, and we'll go back to the phone lines quickly. Actually, are we? No, we've got plenty of time to go ahead and take this phone call. Scott in Ellick City, you're on Sports Call.
How you doing?
Good. How about you, Scott?
Good. Those were two great calls right there to have to follow up. But I wanted to shift a little bit. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to see what Clay Travis wrote yesterday, an article on Johnny Manziel and some things that Deion Sanders had to say about him. And I thought he had some validity, that is, Clay Travis and Deion Sanders, on about why people may not like Manziel or some of the things that he does rub people the wrong way. And I think it's, in my opinion, if he was a black quarterback, I don't think, excuse me, you would have to deal with the same things that he has to deal with. A lot of things that you don't like about him are the things that you would absolutely love about a Michael Vick or Mitch Young, which are two of the quarterbacks he mentioned as two of his favorite quarterbacks. So I just want to get your thoughts on that, and if you guys had an opportunity to read the article.
I did not have an opportunity to read the article, but I kind of understand what he's saying. I don't think there's any question there is certainly a stigma out there about white athletes, you know, and what they should be, and we all kind of put different athletes into different categories, and certainly Johnny Manziel does not fit into the normal category. And does that, you know, lead into, or does that contribute to some of his some of the way he is perceived? Probably. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'd have to sit down and really think about that, to be honest with you. But certainly, obviously, there is something that about, you know, him and his persona and the way that he carries himself that certainly you know, rubs people the wrong way, or certainly they judge him in a certain way.
We'll talk a little bit more about that on the other side quickly as we're going to break. I'll throw this over there to you, Tony. The leader, state championships-wise, now in the state is Hazelwood at 11. Hoover has 10 state championships. That goes back to Barry also. But that Sidney Lanier team and Lee of Montgomery both have 8 state titles, which put them 4th on the list. And their last being Lee Montgomery won one back in '92. Sidney Lanier won one back in 68, and that closed out 3 consecutive state titles for Sidney Lanier, 66, 67, and 68. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. More from the Friday edition of Sports Call after this break.
At Charter Bank, you get totally free checking with online statements. You betcha. Free mobile banking, free online banking, free online bill pay, free debit card, even a new account gift. Free. At Charter Bank, we're here to wow you. And totally free checking is just the beginning. Come see us or open online at charterbank.net. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's true. The Big Blue Bookstore stocks Auburn's best selection of textbooks and sweetens the deal with a low price guarantee. But wait, there's more. How about a full-service post office inside the store? Don't waste hours and hours standing in the world's slowest line way on the other side of town. Multitask. Big Blue's collection of Auburn merchandise covers all your bases. AU apparel, gifts, home and auto decor, even stuff for your War Eagle pet. Well, looky there. Now you've got gifts for friends and family, and hey, there's a post office to ship them. Go Big Blue. The Big Blue Bookstore. Winn-Dixie Shopping Center on South College.
Auburn Links is proud to honor the people who keep us safe, the men and women of the military, and the police, fire, and EMTs of Lee County. To show their thanks, Auburn Links is offering you special discounts. Just show your ID, and you'll get 18 holes of the best golf around for just $25 anytime. That's right, members of the military, along with police, fire, and EMTs of Lee County, 18 holes for just $25. Auburn Links wants to thank you for what you do with a great round of golf. Auburn Links, off exit 51. Call 887-5151.
For your Easter meal, turn to Honey Baked Ham for all the essentials. Hey, this is Crystal from Honey Baked Ham Company and Cafe in Opelika. This Easter, make it a truly special day with a feast for your whole family. With our signature honey glazed spiral sliced hams, classic heat and serve sides, and a full selection of desserts. We're open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday with extended hours for Easter. And now you can order your family's Easter meal online. Go to myhoneybakedstore.com, call us at 741-8411, or come see us on Gateway Drive in Opelika. Happy Easter from all of us at Honey Baked Ham.
At Tiger Iron Gym, you don't have to deal with old, worn-out equipment or the gym closing early for the night. Tiger Iron Gym is proud to be open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Around the clock, you can train on the best equipment anywhere. 12,000 square feet of state-of-the-art cardio and strength equipment. You name it, they got it at Tiger Iron Gym. These perks and more can be yours for just $19 a month. When other gyms shut down for the night, they're going strong at Tiger Iron Gym. On South College in Auburn between Winn-Dixie and the Big Blue Bookstore, call 329-7299.
Imagine an acne treatment breakthrough that even Proactive says is better than Proactive. Announcing all new Proactive Plus, the revolutionary new way to clear your skin from the #1 name in acne care. Proactive Plus is our best, most effective solution ever. And when you call 1-800-757-8542 today, you can have it tomorrow. Proactive Plus is the modern acne miracle that treats your skin beautifully. The plus means more. More precise, targeted medicine for faster, gentler acne prevention. And more skin-loving solutions so your complexion can look bright and beautiful.
I am just so happy with Proactive Plus. I don't think my skin has ever looked this good.
Call 1-800-757-8542. Be one of the first to try Proactive Plus. Guaranteed 100% risk-free. You won't see this limited time offer on TV. It's a radio exclusive. 1-800-757-8542. 1-800-757-8542.
About 25 minutes left here on the Friday edition of Sports Call. Randy Lee alongside Andy Graham. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401 during the break, and we'll pass this along to Tony in Montgomery as he has brought up high school football in the city of Montgomery. If you were a high school football fan during the time Tony was in the city of Montgomery, it was prime time between 1958 and 1970. 9 out of those 13 years, Lee or Sidney Lanier won state championships. Lee won them in 58, 59, 60, 69, and 70, and Lanier won them in 61, 66, 67, and 68. We're a long time away for those two schools.
Yeah, it's been quite a while and been a drought, and domination like that from two schools that so close to each other, you might not see again.
888-9-Tiger-9. Let's go back to the phone lines. Anthony and Auburn, you're on Sports Call.
Hey, guys, I just wanted to kind of put my 2 cents in on this question of the day with the 2 athletes that were for the leave for their child. I mean, in my opinion, I've been around not anything like sports, but I've had a big event where I've had a child born around, and I just can't fathom, even if I was a professional athlete, having to miss that for my child. I mean, there's 2 events in your life that you can't ever get back, and that's the birth of a child and a celebration of a life at a funeral. And I can't just fathom, people downing me for doing that. I mean, do you feel like if this was on a West Coast for, like, say, the Angels or something, that we would have this big of an issue because these are New York and Philly teams?
Good point. Your thoughts, Andy?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. It seems that we do maybe take it a little more seriously on the East Coast and in the South.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things where I may not take the full 3 days that they give me, but, I'm definitely going to be there. And I have a wife that would probably tell me. I was listening to Golick on Mike and Mike, and he was saying, look, my wife told me to go and play in the game. And that's the way my wife would be. But, you got to make the decision as the man of the household. And I think some of these people just don't put themselves in an athlete's shoes before they go off and give these guys grief for what their decisions are. You can't get that back in your life. And I just wanted to make that my point. You guys do a great job. Keep it up.
Anthony, you got just one more second, bud?
Yeah,
we know you're a good friend of the program, and I got a question because it's been brought up a couple of times here on this program. You being from over in the Montgomery area, your thoughts on Carver being the only team from Montgomery that's really held on to any kind of state recognition when it comes to football?
Well, having sisters that graduated from JD and having 2 parents that graduated from Lee, and having all these memories, or not my personal memories, but hearing things of how great it was to tailgate at a Jeff Davis, Lanier, or Jeff Davis Lee game. I mean, I heard it was like Auburn College Football Saturday, how big that was. And I know from just living in Montgomery, growing up in Montgomery, that it is something that people want back. And I agree with the caller's last point. Unfortunately, in the city of Montgomery, the public school system has gone down, and I think we all know that. And it is a fear of being safe and things like that. But, it is pretty disheartening to know that only Carver is really hanging on as far as, the talent level. And so I know just from hearing from people that, played at the schools in the 70s and 80s, or even like my sisters in the late 90s, it definitely hasn't gotten the way it is and where it needs to be. And I know from the public school side of things in Montgomery, it's one of those things. That's why you see a lot of people in private schools, and that's why you see a lot of people moving to other public schools around the county.
Well, Anthony, we appreciate your phone call, buddy, and thanks for calling in as often as you do. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. I think it's just the reality that you live in. It's a good topic, and I can only imagine as our producer sends this over, must have been one heck of a night when you had Sidney Lanier playing Robert E. Lee back in the late 60s. I couldn't imagine.
No, absolutely not. To tie it in, he talked about being the birth of a child and how, important a moment that is, and not being able, and just not understanding how, people could, begrudge you from experiencing that. And, private, schools and sending your children to schools is one of those things that people are not going to make any compromises about. And nobody's going to tell them, how, that they shouldn't send their children to a safe environment, to the best school possible, and if that's moving away from that public school, that's what they're going to do.
Jeremy in Montgomery, you're on Sports Call.
Yeah, hey, how y'all doing today?
Good, Jeremy. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I'm from Auburn, so if y'all start asking about Jeff Davis and stuff, I'm not going to have any idea what to talk about.
Okay, buddy.
No, a couple of things. Your guy just a second ago mentioned the fact that, hey, if this whole paternity leave thing happened on the West Coast, would anybody say anything? Carl Crawford didn't make the trip to Australia with the Dodgers just to stay home to be with his wife having a kid. He skipped the whole trip. So when the Dodgers went down to Australia, and I don't think anybody said anything about it.
A lot of times I think, Jeremy, it is just the how tough are you mentality of sports media, especially when you get behind the mic. It's pretty easy to talk tough when you're on there, and then actually whenever it's your life to live, you'd probably do something totally different than what you say on the air, and I feel a little bit that way with Boomer Esiason.
I just, comparing football and baseball are two completely different things. You're talking shortened seasons and all that other kind of stuff. You don't hear a lot of NFL guys skipping games for paternity leaves because, each individual game does mean so much. I mean, you miss a game, that's, 5% of the season. Whereas in baseball, if you miss a game, it's, not even 8%. So, it's two completely different mentalities, and to be on these guys' case about being with their wife when they're having a baby, I think it's just absurd, really. I really can't believe that we're talking about it 2 and 3 days later.
It's been a huge topic. We were surprised as well, and that's the reason we threw it out as the question of the day, because you listen to national talk radio, that's been the talk of the day, and the talk for 3 days, you said, Jeremy.
Right. I don't understand why it's become this big a deal. We really apparently don't have anything to talk about until the Final Four starts this weekend.
Good point, buddy.
But another thing, y'all were talking, I heard y'all mention that Hazelwood is number 1 on that list as far as state titles.
Correct,
That school actually closed a couple of years ago, and they joined with Cortland, who is just like 5 miles down the road, and they have 6 or 7 themselves.
They do. Cortland actually has 5. If you look on the list, Cortland's last was back in 1999. Hazelwood's last state championship was in 2000, so it's been quite a dry spell for both of those programs, but between the two of them, 16 state championships.
Right, and I'm actually from that area, and playing against, I think if you could actually pull up the years that they won it, there's a time period there in the late 80s and early 90s where Cortland won like 4 straight, and Hazelwood won maybe 5 or 6 in a row. Of course, they were 1A and 2A schools. They weren't real big, but Cortland went over to Tuscaloosa County and beat them 6-0.
Yeah, to give you the answer there, 88, 89, and 90, Cortland won. When you look at Hazelwood, they won 88, 89, 90, 91, and 92. So Hazelwood won 5 in a row right there in that stretch.
Let's see, those Hazelwood teams, like I said, you're talking about small school ball, but they had Antonio Langham and Chris Hood and Montoya Madden. They were basically a pipeline for all these guys that wound up playing football at Alabama. And we had the pleasure of playing them my junior year, and I think we finished with about 35 yards of offense. It was really like playing against grown men. You just never seen anything like it. And like I said, they were small school teams, but Portland could go down and play people like Tuscaloosa County and deal with them just fine. It was an incredible stretch of football to be around and play against at that time, because you see a lot of people, you think of how many Division I guys these 5A and 6A schools send now. If you send 6 or 7 guys, that's a pretty good 6A football team if they've got 7 Division I athletes on them. But, these were 1A and 2A schools that were just churning them out. And I've never seen anything like it, and probably won't again.
Well, Jeremy, we appreciate your phone call today, buddy.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. Love to hear from you every day. 888-9-TIGER-9, 334-887-3401. We come back, we'll close out the program here on this Friday edition of Sports Call.
Remove the hard work and confusion from growing your business with brand management and growth through Lee Marketing Group. LMG offers logo design, web development, search engine optimization, social media management, and more. Physical and virtual marketing is an amazing tool businesses need to utilize in today's economy. Stay ahead of your competition and reach new customers. Contact us today, 888-533-6758, or visit us online at leemarketing.net to learn more. Lake Winds Golf Course, the most affordable, quality round of golf in central Alabama. Located right off Highway 280 on County Road 40 in Alexander City. Lake Winds Golf Course offers affordable memberships, an updated pro shop, junior golf program, annual tournaments, and weekly matches. Call for your tee time today, 256-825-9860. Lake Winds Golf Course.
S&S Discount Tire on Cherokee Road in Alex City is the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealership and a place for everything mechanical. Weary and the S&S Tire crew are ready to serve you with double the capacity from routine oil changes to full engine overhauls and all transmission work. S&S Tire can handle it all. That's S&S Tire on Cherokee Road. Call David or Weary today at 256-215-8822. Visit S&S Discount Tire at 224 East South Street in Davie, now in 2 locations.
Sperlin Recycling is an Alabama-based recycling company specializing in the recycling of metal, aluminum, copper, ferrous, and non-ferrous waste. Sperlin Recycling is available for all your commercial recycling needs, including demolition, on-site scrap removal, and roll-off services. Sperlin Recycling is a family-owned corporation with several generations of experience. Call us today at 256-234-0903 and visit us online at www.sperlinrecycling.com.
Game Little Cheaper says the Kelly Blue Book event is bigger and better than ever. Carl Gregory's gigantic Kelly Blue Book pricing event has been extended to new vehicles. Every new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram has been discounted to Kelly Blue Book pricing to save you thousands. Shop from a huge selection of over 300 new vehicles. Purchase any new vehicle for Kelly Blue Book's fair market price. Don't miss your chance to buy any new vehicle at Kelly Blue Book pricing this week at Carl Gregory Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
Ever wondered what LNG can do for you? The possibilities are endless.
LNG offers custom apparel and promotional products, any type of signage and vehicle wraps, web design and internet marketing, video production, paper products, and more. Visit us online at leemarketing.net. 3 locations to best serve you: Madison Street in Alexander City, Highway 280 in Dadeville, and Frederick Road in Auburn. LMG, success by design.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Looking for one of the best ways to market your business effectively? Advertise with R&B Media through Sports Blitz, Sportscall, and the AHSAA radio network. High school and college athletics are king in Alabama, and consumers of media that center around this subject are steadily on the rise. Get the best of both worlds, radio and TV sports talk throughout the state of Alabama. To learn more, contact us today at 256-794-8223. Final segment here on the Friday edition of Sports Call. We appreciate all of you tuning in this afternoon. I'm Randy Lee alongside Andy Graham. Let's go back to the phone line. Luke in Alexander City, you're on Sports Call.
Hey, guys, I hate to be called back into the show guy, but I heard Shadow's call a little bit earlier, and he was talking about Kevin Norwood. And I listened to the whole Kevin Norwood interview on my drive, and he didn't say anything that was disparaging or eye-rolling like, oh, we didn't play hard and that's why Auburn won. That's not what he was saying. I think what his point was, after the LSU game, that Alabama team went on cruise control. They thought they had already won the national championship. And if you go back and look at the games, for instance, the Mississippi State game, this was not a world-beating Mississippi State team, and Alabama had trouble putting them away because they looked unfocused. They didn't look like a Nick Saban coach team. They just did in the latter part of the year. They didn't look that way in the Auburn game to me on several occasions. They missed chip shot field goals. I think they went for it on 4th down 3 times and didn't get it with a really good offensive line and with some pretty good running backs. So it wasn't Kevin Norwood saying, oh, we played terrible and that's why we lost. I think what he was saying, and it really is more of a shot at the coaching staff in a way, at least that's the way I took it. He was saying we weren't prepared. And I go back to the overall inference that Nick Saban's lost grip of the program. I don't believe that at all. And I think there's been Andy said, well, Alty Tenpenny's arrest proves he's losing his grip. Look, there's been an arrest about every year.
I said the combination of all the arrests.
Yeah, well, there's been an arrest at Alabama just like every other school. I mean, Jason Smith, Auburn commitment, got in trouble, 2 weeks ago? I mean, look, I think if we're going to start counting off for everybody for a kid getting in trouble with a marijuana charge, every school in the country is going to be in trouble, including Harvard. So I don't think that's necessarily the case. But you got to remember, too, that Alabama's won 3 out of the last 5 national championships. So everybody who says, well, he just lost, ingenuity has gone past him, the game's passed him by. I mean, did it pass him by last year in November? Because he's done pretty well with what he's got. I think Alabama's not going anywhere. And the trouble is that more often than not, and I've been a victim of this too, that Alabama fans don't like to think that Auburn can ever be good, and Auburn fans don't like to think Alabama can ever be good. And as soon as they see one small chink in the armor, everybody thinks the whole world's going to crumble down. Look, Alabama's not going to turn into the Mike Shula era or the Mike DeVos era because they have a 2-game losing streak to 2 really, really good teams at the end of last year. That's just not going to happen. They're going to be good again next year, and Auburn's going to be good again next year too. That's just the way it's going to be, and it's hard for each half of the state to accept that, I believe.
Well, Luke, we appreciate your phone call, buddy, and Andy, I'm just proud that we've got something to talk about, because as long as both of these programs are playing as well as I expect them to do for the next as long as these 2 coaches are left here in the state, we're going to have plenty to talk about on programs like this.
No, there's no doubt about it, and it makes it more fun. When one team is down and the other one's up, there's no competition there. It's not as much fun. And when both teams are really good, and that has happened so seldom with Auburn and Alabama when both teams are really, really good. So some of that is a product of when one of them rises up, they kind of punish the other one and push them down. So it'll be interesting to see the power struggle as it works out.
The great part with this, though, is Nick Saban coming into the state looks like it has risen the game for Auburn, and we're in national prominence, and we've played for 2 national titles in the last 4 years and won one of them, and we're 13 seconds from another. It's going to be fun to see if Bruce Pearl does the same thing for basketball here in this state, because I have never seen anybody come into any program with as much fire as I've seen Bruce Pearl in the last month at Auburn.
Well, for a guy that cannot go out and recruit and promote the program, the man has promoted the program. I mean, they were on PTI just yesterday, and, they were talking about it, and they said, look, him taking his shirt off, doing it in the dunk booth. And some people look at that and they say, oh, what a clown, and this and that. And they say, he's just, self-promoting. But look, we're talking about Auburn basketball right now. Auburn's not in the tournament. They didn't make the NIT. They didn't make the CBI. They didn't make any kind of tournament. Haven't made one in quite a while. But yet we're talking about Auburn basketball in March or now April. So just by him, and Brett mentioned this before the show, he's done more for Auburn basketball in just 2 weeks than any coach has done in the last 30 years. I mean, it's pretty incredible. He may fall on his face when it comes to coaching, but this program is going to be known.
Now, when you look, by the way, Wesley Person Jr. signs or commits to Troy to play last night. That takes him off the list there, but a good commit for him, and I'm glad to see him stay in the state of Alabama, and Troy's on the upswing, but you're not surprised anymore to look at recruits. I'm actually looking at basketball recruits. I have news stories that pop up tons daily that is 4-star athlete from X state is looking at Auburn, or big transfer from huge college is looking at Auburn. I'm not surprised anymore, and we're going to be talking a lot more about it, and that's the fun of having a marketer. I want to throw that, a big marketer like Bruce Pearl. Not only a great coach, but a marketer of a program. That's what Auburn's been needing the worst.
Desperately. We need every advantage that we can possibly get, and obviously he brings quite a few of them just with his personality, just with who he is and what he does on a daily basis. And just on a personal note, I hope every time that Wesley Person Jr. plays, he burns the eyes out of somebody from Alabama. I don't know if Auburn will ever play him, or Alabama will ever play him, or UAB will ever play him, but I hope he burns our eyes out every time. I hope we win the game, but I hope he scores 50 on us.
6:30 p.m. tonight, so about 30 minutes from now, Auburn is at Ole Miss, not on television. The only game that will be on television this weekend for Auburn baseball is on Sunday. CSS at 5 o'clock. No, what time? 1 o'clock on
1:30.
Sunday. 1:30 Sunday afternoon on CSS. You can pick up Auburn at Ole Miss. And on the softball side, we've got one game on television this weekend. Auburn at Florida at 5 p.m. on ESPNU. But Auburn, first pitch is being thrown currently 6 p.m. at Florida. 31-8, 5-7 in the conference, as Auburn is 31-6-1 and 6-3 in the conference. It's been a fun week here on Sports Call. Looking forward to next weekend.
Who you got in the championship game, NCAA?
I'm gonna take Florida. I can't turn away from them.
Who do they play?
When you look at, I think they're going to play Kentucky. I do, and I think Florida is going to win it. And I think it's defense that's going to be the name of the game. As you look at the defensive numbers, Florida only allowing 57 points per game, which is third in the country. The other teams pretty strong, but not that strong, as they're all in the mid-30s range, and all of them scoring right around the same at 71, 72 points per game. But who do you got, Andy?
I'm going to take Florida as well.
Both of us like Florida, and it's going to be fun next Monday to see who brings and cuts down the nets. For Andy Graham, I'm Randy Lee saying thanks for tuning into the Friday edition of Sports Call.